Are you interested in global expansion and reaching foreign markets? If yes, you should watch this episode. In today's podcast, I will reveal how business works differently in Asia and in Western countries. At the end of the episode, I will share my personal experience and the critical lesson I learned that helping me collaborate successfully with Western clients and actually global clients. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. Hello everyone, my name is Alan Spanish and you are watching Go Global Asia. I've been living in Asia 8 years and for the last 6 years as a CEO of Evit organization, I've been helping Asian IT companies expand globally. In this podcast, I am discussing everything related to global expansion, sales, business development, and collaboration with Western clients. Hello everyone. Hello from Poland. As you probably noticed, there is a different background, different setting, and I am actually recording for you from my home and from the place where I was raised. It's a really, really big pleasure to host you here. And also today we have a very important and interesting subject. Today I will be talking about different business ethic, different approach to the business in comparison between Asian and the Western countries. This subject is really relevant to situation we are now because I've been traveling recently a lot around Europe and I am seeing so many differences that it's really difficult to count all of them. What I did, I took out four main differences and then I will share with you all of them. Plus, additionally, I will give you tips what you should do, how you should, let's say, approach to these differences to make it as successful as possible in the future. Let me start with point number one, networking and business development. In Western countries and in Asia, we do it completely differently. Why? Main difference is actually lack of the blending work life and personal life. What do I mean? In Europe, networking, business networking, it happens in the business working hours. People, they separate personal life and they have a very strict, let's say, barrier between both of them. That's mean when we want to approach somebody first time, we don't have a relationship, we are from Asia and want to enter the, let's say, Polish market, we should consider to do it in the professional manner, we should consider to do it during the working hours, and we should consider to invite that person or get invitation to their office. However, in Asia, it's completely different. Personal life, it's blend with the business life, with the work life. So going out for the coffee, morning, afternoon, evening, lunchtime, eating lunch together, inviting to the office, everything is acceptable. Going for karaoke, going for the beer, everything is completely fine. Those two, let's say, different lives, they blend together in this amazing kind of harmony, if I can say like that. Why I say harmony? Because I can I can see that still Asian people, they do enjoy it. So if you are Asian business and you want to collaborate with Western clients, it's very important that you do this cold outreach, cold approach during the working hours. You do it in the professional way and you do it in the business setting. It's completely different if you already have a relationship with that potential client, and it's much different when you do it in the, let's say, first time approach. So keep it in mind. If it's first time approach, let's make it in professional way. Second important point that I would like to discuss is risk. What do I mean? I mean how do people perceive the risk and how do they approach? So let me start first with the European and Western client. Western people, they have a very specific approach to the risk, which is very logical. What do I mean? They try to think about this in the way that they can calculate as much as possible and make logical decision, meaning they will calculate how much money they need to invest, how much effort they need to invest, how much time they need to invest, and then when this return can happen, they will try calculate this information based on the facts, based on the case study, based on the information they can collect, and then make the kind of aware decision. However, in Asia, risk is perceived in a different way. At least risk is calculated in a different way. What kind of way? In Asia, it's more about emotional approach. People will mm, judge, if I can say like that, risk based on the person they're working with. What do I mean? Imagine that two people meeting each other. One is Asian, one is European. The Asian person will be asking a lot of questions related to family, to friends, to the business. The Asian person might even ask for introduction to family, to friends of that person, to see the network of that person, and it will make opinion on the person and then make decision about the risk, not about the project, but about risk of working with this specific person. So the risk is not perceived on the project base, it's more perceived on the person base. That's why it's much more emotional. So guys, now if you are Asian business and want to enter the Western market, what should you do? If you pitch in an idea, first of all, remember that there is the risk you need to remove. Every good salesperson knows if you remove the risk from the collaboration, the client will be much more willing to take action. So remember that there is the risk. Then how you remove it. When you work with Western clients, you remove it based on the facts, based on the numbers, based on the case study. Make sure you have those in your pitch deck. Point number 3, work-life balance. This is a little bit related to what I said in point number 1. Actually, I already mentioned about this. What I said is basically that European people, they don't have a tendency to mix the work life with the personal life. I can give you this kind of personal story, personal experience that I witnessed in Ireland. When I used to live there, I remember when we finish at work, let's say 5 p.m. or 4 p.m. and exactly at 5 p.m. everybody scanned their cards and ran to the car. And maybe 2 minutes after 5 p.m. the park lot was empty because everybody left. So people looking to way to get out of the work, go to their wives, to their children, to their friends. Usually they have a friends outside of the work and then they will spend the time with them. They have this kind of mindset that if I spend 8 hours already with those people at work, I don't want to spend any more time with them after work. And this is nothing personal, this is how they live their life. In Asia, it's completely different. In Asia, these two life, they're blending each other, work life and the personal life. And again, let me give you example. I remember when I was running consulting project for a big corporation in Vietnam. And I have a tendency to stay longer hours in the office. So sometimes stay to 9 p.m., 10 p.m., wherever. And I remember that very often when I stay 7 p.m., 8 p.m., I see a lot of people still staying at office. And what they did, and what was really interesting to see, they call the delivery, food delivery, and they share the meal together, dinner, and then they ate, have a fun, like enjoy time like they do enjoy with their family, and then they come back to work. And guys, you might think like, oh, this is so normal. Eat at work, eat, get some break. But you must understand that in Vietnam, for instance, if you share the meal with somebody, this is something important. This is the time when you create the bond. Even when you eat in the Vietnam, you're taking the food and put to another person bowl food. It's like sharing, it's creating a bond. So it's not only about eating, it's actually creating this personal bond. And this is a huge difference between the Western countries and Asia. So if you are Asian business and you want to collaborate with European businesses, keep in the mind that you shouldn't ask personal questions. You shouldn't ask for the family introduction. You shouldn't ask to go out drinking if your relationship is not created yet. If you are at the level or at the stage that you are purely business, then it will be not appropriate to invite those people, those business partners, to more personal settings, entertainments, let's say like that. Last point, what I would like to share with you is time perception. And if you are a Western person, it might sound for you a little bit weird. You might say, Adam, time is the same. 1 second is 1 second, 1 minute is 1 minute, 1 hour is 1 hour. There is no perception of this. But if you are Asian, you probably know what I am talking about. In Asia, time can be perceived in completely different way. What do I mean? Time can stretch and shrink, and the stretch can go hours and hours. What do I mean? You might see that if you set up the meeting with somebody in Asia at 2 p.m. and it's very likely that they will not show up at 2 p.m. They will not show up 5 minutes past 2 p.m. They might show at sometime 2:30, and this is completely normal. Guys, I remember when I came to Vietnam or even Asia, and I first time experienced this. I supposed to meet one friend, and she didn't show up. And after 10 minutes, I start thinking like, oh, maybe something happened, maybe she got sick or family member got sick, anything. And then like 20 minutes after the time she is supposed to come in, I left. And then 1 hour after, I received a message that she is at the place where I am because she's waiting. And for me, like, it was so surprising. I replied that I came there, she wasn't there, so I left home. And kind of that was a little bit awkward for me and for that person. With the time, I learned that in Vietnam and many Asian countries, they perceive the time a little bit differently. Meaning, they they are allowed to come later. They are much more flexible. The time usually is stretching, and it's very difficult to set up something. I know it might sound terrible because you cannot set up your calendar, your agenda can be mixed up, and it's super unproductive in some cases, but that's the way it is, and this is not my role to judge it. Just my role is to adapt it. How I adapted to it, I actually took advantage of this. Whenever now I go into the meeting, I always take in my ebook with me, and I sit down and I read the book. If the person coming late, I'm actually happy because I can pick up on my reading. So, regarding the Europe and Western countries, how they perceive the time, they are very strict with their time. Minute is minute, hour is hour, day is the day, and there is no flexibility. If you come late, it means you do not respect their time. And if you don't respect their time, that means you don't respect them. In Europe, people believe that one of the most valuable assets they have is their time. So you, as an Asian company, you need to be very sensitive to this. Because if you set up the meeting with the partner and you come in late, this will put you in very bad position. Your first impression will be very bad, and then fix this situation. It could be very difficult, very difficult. Keep in the mind about this different, and it's not a big deal. I mean, to try stick with the time. I know even if you live in Hanoi or Saigon with huge traffic, you can do it and you can come on time. And coming 5 minutes earlier, it's actually well perceived by Western cultures. And guys, as I promised, at the end I will share one personal experience and what lesson I learned from this. So let me get into it. I would like to share with you how to build team collaboration and how to build the brainstorming with your teammates who are from around the world. So I remember the situation when I ran big project, a consulting project for one of client here in Vietnam, and I organized brainstorming session. And I came to the room and I wrote down the problem. I collect the most important and most intelligent people in the room, and then I was hosting the brainstorming session and try to solve the issue. After 5 minutes, nothing happened. So I encourage people even more. After 10 minutes, still nobody say nothing. So I give the marker pen and I invite the people to the board and ask them to write down the ideas. Nothing happened. After half hour, I give up. And it's not about the people are not intelligent. It's not about that it was wrong time day or wherever. It was my mistake. Why? Because in many Asian cultures, decisions are made in a different way than in Western countries. In Asian cultures, we have a hierarchy, and the leader is for making decision. Where in the Europe we have collective making decisions process. Meaning, if in the Europe there are 5 people who will be affected by this decision, that they are all stakeholders nearly equally important when they make a decision about this specific matter. But in Vietnam, it's not like this, and in many Asian countries. And how does that affect my brainstorming session? So basically, me as a leader of that group, I was like kind of their superior. They waiting for me to give an idea, to share, and they will learn from me. So when I learn about that, I decide to run brainstorming session differently and much better for me and for them. What I did and what I recommend you to try. Go to the brainstorming session, write down problem on the board, leave the marker on the table and say, guys, I have some very important urgent matter that pop up last minute and I need to leave. I will come back in 45 minutes. Please try solve it and help me out. And this is exactly what I did. And after 45 minutes when I came back, the whole board was full of idea, the problem was solved and everybody was happy. This is really interesting to experience culture from such a different perspective. I feel I'm really lucky that I got this opportunity to travel around the world. I am very, very lucky to work with so many people from different cultures, with different mindset. Guys, so that's it. This is my sharing for you from Poland, from my hometown. What I want you to do, I would like you to help me grow this global network of entrepreneurs. How you can do it? Basically, recently I opened a Facebook fan page where I share very practical information about global expansion and collaboration in the global setting. And very soon I will open closed group community of entrepreneurs, high-level entrepreneurs, director, leaders, co-founders, and C-level. And this information will be released at that Facebook page. So I want you to go to that Facebook page. Link, it will be below in the description. And just like it and follow it. If you are a follower, you will be first person who will receive the information about opening the group. And I would love to see you in our group. Guys, thank you so much. This is Go Global Asia podcast, and I see you in next episode. Bye bye.